Welcome to the student overview of Brightspace. In this video, we will cover understanding Brightspace, accessing your courses on Brightspace, navigating the courses, modules, and features of Brightspace, and where to go for help. We're going to cover what is Brightspace, how we use it, and the importance of being active. Brightspace is our learning management system. It's where your instructor will likely post all of your instructional materials, syllabus, assignments, and other class activity materials. It is important to know that every instructor uses Brightspace differently. Some instructors will use it heavily, some instructors will use it scarcely, and you might discover everything in between. Your instructor will tell you their expectations for Brightspace. Brightspace can be accessed on a desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile phone. You do not need an app to access Brightspace. However, you can use the Pulse app, which will give you Pulse notifications of new grades, new assignments, and announcements. Your instructor may require you to submit assignments to Brightspace, and sometimes that means submitting Word documents. These assignments are easiest done on a laptop or desktop computer. How to get to Brightspace. There are several ways that you can access Brightspace. One is from my.ccc.edu, which is your student portal. You can access Brightspace from one of the icons in the quick links. Alternatively, you can access Brightspace from our CCC website at www.ccc.edu. Under Student Tools, there is a Brightspace link. When you first access Brightspace, this is the homepage that you will see. Once logged in, you can customize your settings. If you click on your name and click Notifications, you can determine what activity you want to be notified about. There's information at the top about the Pulse app that I mentioned earlier, which again is not required, but it does help you stay up to date and receive additional notifications. Or you can scroll through and request to get either an email or a text message for a variety of activity that might happen in your class. I highly recommend choosing at least to receive an email for new announcements and when announcements have been updated. Once you're done selecting your notifications, click Save. On the home page, you will find college announcements, a list of your courses, and various widgets, such as the Work to Do widget, which will give you an overview of upcoming due dates of assignments that your instructor may have added to Brightspace. As you scroll through this homepage, you will see additional information, as well as an overall calendar and other announcements. At the top of the page, you will see this waffle icon that will give you a list of all of your courses, if you should choose to access them that way, subscription alerts, and update alerts. To access your course, click on the course name. Courses become accessible to you on the first day of class or earlier if the instructor changes the start date. When you click on your course, you will typically land on the course home, which looks like this. You can think of this page as a what's new and what's due. Instructors might post announcements here, and you can see if there are activities to complete. Even if you don't see anything new on the course homepage, it doesn't mean there isn't anything new to do. Again, your instructor will set the expectations, but you will likely spend the majority of your time in content. That's this link at the top of the page. Content is where your instructor will organize the course material and activity by modules. Modules are like a file folder of information. The first module is usually where you will find the syllabus. You can click right on it to view it, or you can download it by clicking on the drop-down arrow and selecting download. You also have the ability to download the content in different formats. If you click on the A with the little drop-down arrow icon, that's called alternative formats, you can see a variety of different formats that you can download the content in if necessary. If you click on the syllabus, it will load the syllabus right on the page for you. You can then navigate through the next items using the forward and back button, or you can bookmark that page if you choose. To get back to content, you can either click back on content or use the breadcrumbs here to go back to the table of contents. After the syllabus, your course may be structured in a variety of ways depending on how your instructor chooses to use Brightspace. If your course will be taught using Zoom, your instructor will typically provide that link in an announcement, in email, or here in content. Beneath that, your course will be structured in a variety of ways based on how your instructor is using the tool. In addition to content, your instructor may also be using other tools in Brightspace. At the top of the page, if I click on the assessment dropdown, you will see links to assignments, discussions, quizzes, and the gradebook. While your instructor may organize your assignments in content based on unit or by week, you can also access assignments, discussions, or quizzes from the assessment dropdown here. Finally, this is also where you'll be able to view your graded work if your instructor uses the gradebook. Moving down the line, we have the class list. The class list is where you can go to reach out to your instructor or your classmates. Select the drop-down arrow next to your teacher's name and click Send Email. This will send an email to your teacher's CCC email account. When they reply, it will go to your student email account. Moving down the line is student support and help. Under the student supports dropdown are links to other resources you may want to explore. Finally, under the help dropdown, you will have the ability to submit a help desk ticket or access the student resource site. If your instructor requests that you submit assignments through Brightspace, the process is very straightforward. The icon you will see will say assignment, and you click directly on that assignment to review any of the instructions, any attachments they may have included, and then you have the ability to upload your response. When you click upload, it'll open your file explorer for you to navigate to where your assignment is. Select your assignment, click open, and then click submit. You will receive an email after you've submitted your assignment. If your instructor is using discussions, click on the discussion topic, read through the instructions, and click Start a New Thread. Enter a subject and your message. Once you're done with your message, click Post. If you want to reply to someone's message, you would click on their title and click Reply to Thread. Then click Post. You can access the activities depending on how your instructor set them up, either through content or through assignments, discussions, or quizzes. That all depends on how your instructor has designed their course. If your instructor is using quizzes, you will click on the quiz. You will read the instructions and details and click Start Quiz. The questions will appear here. When you are finished, click Submit Quiz. You will receive a confirmation as to whether or not you missed any questions or if you want to go back to the questions before you're ready to submit. When you're ready to submit, click Submit Quiz. Click Done. Your results will show depending on whether or not your instructor has set that up. Click Back to Content. In Content, you will see a progress bar based on all of the completed tasks. When you complete an assignment, discussion, or quiz, the check mark will appear. Other times, when you view content, the check mark will appear. Brightspace is a great tool to keep you up to date with all of the work that you might need to do in your class. The way an instructor uses Brightspace is completely up to them, so your course may or may not look similar to the one that you see here. Make sure you refer to your instructor in terms of how they expect you to use Brightspace. If you ever need help with Brightspace, there are a number of options. First and foremost, your instructor is your main resource because they decide how they expect Brightspace to be used. Second, there's a student tutorial course that you can find in your list of courses that provide videos on how to do certain things in Brightspace. Third, you can submit a ticket to the help desk either through the help link or by going to www.ccc.edu/help. A good practice for being successful is to check your CCC email and Brightspace every day to ensure you are staying on top of all your classwork.